Hi all, it's Saturday morning, November 1st, and I've got my cup of coffee here, and I thought we would go through our October completed pages. I completed quite a few for the month, so no particular order. I'm just gonna jump right in. This month, if you watched my color along a few days ago, I did mention I colored quite a bit in my Johanna Basford books this month. So I did get a new set of Joanna books, I think in anticipation of her Wildflower book coming out very soon. We should get that in a few days. So I'm very excited about that. So I brought out kind of my new copies of her books to get started in. So the first one is Enchanted Forest. Completed a few here. So this is the first one that I did. This is actually the first page of all of them, all the Johanna pages that I did for the month. So for this page, I did use my Staedtler pigment pens. So I did share on that color along how I use my Staedtler pens. This is the primary medium that I use for all of my Johanna books, so you'll see that quite a bit. I do use my pencils for a few books, but mostly I use my Staedtler pens. So Staedtler pens is what is all of the elements. The background is soft pastels. So the background are my Jack Richardson soft pastels. And then there's a little bit of metallic gel pen and the window and things. That's ink tints. So you'll see anytime I have a window, I mentioned prior that I use my ink tints. And then just like some Posca pen for some of the little details, Posca pen for any of the white flowers. I think this is just a gold metallic for the little moon there. But yeah, so this page I did all in fall, kind of a fall theme. So I thought this page turned out really pretty. Next up is this page. So I did this is my black So Flat. I did spray this page just because any pages that have soft pastel have been sprayed. So that's why if you're seeing a little bit of shine, it's because of that. But this is my So Flat Matte by Golden Black Paint. And this is soft pastels, just a easy wash of blue soft pastels, soft pastel for the background, Staedtler pigment pens again for the elements, and then the Posca white pen. The little bubbles are just a white gel pen. And then I made the wings, if you can see, the wings have a gold outline and then just Wink of Stella on the inside to give the sparkle. So that's that page. And then I did this for Halloween. So this is my skull page. I did this in all oranges, or like shades of orange and red. So again, using my Staedtler pigment pens and soft pastels, my Jack Richardson soft pastels, just in a variety of colors that I sprayed the page so that the soft pastels were kept in place. I did a little bit of gel pen just for the black spider, and then there are some gold elements just here and there. So you can see them like on the mushrooms, and then a few little things on the teeth. Yeah, but I just did a gradient of 3 colors of Staedtler pen just to make him kind of look like a pumpkin a little bit. Okay. This is a work in progress double page spread. So I did this page first. So this has been sprayed with Final Fixative, so that's why it's shiny. This has been sprayed with Workable. So you can see Workable will lay down your soft pastels so that you can work then on the detail of the page. I just wanted to do that before, so I didn't lose the color combination of my soft pastels. When I do all the elements and this page is done, I'll then spray it with my Final Fixative. But this page is done. So this is black Molotow marker. I hope I'm saying that right. So that one's a little bit, that one's actually a semi-gloss versus the Posca. So it's the dual tip, which I have to say, I'm liking using this actually more than my Poscas. If you know, if you use that Posca kind of small nib pen a lot, it's scratchy, and when you use it in coloring books, sometimes when it lays colors down, it kind of spreads some dots or crumbs when it lays down. I don't know if you've had that experience. Maybe it's just me. But anyways, this is a much softer nib. So it still has the small nib on this side. And I also like that it's kind of it's a semi-gloss. I think it's semi-gloss. Yeah, semi-gloss. And then on this side, it has the traditional kind of 3mm, I think, nib. So you're going to see this a lot. I used the black one in particular, but I also did use the white quite a bit. The white is not as opaque as the Posca, but still so nice to use. And so I was really enjoying these. They're a little bit pricier for us here in the US than Poscas, but really enjoyed that. I kept reaching for this, so I wanted to mention those. But that's what the black ironwork is here. And then the rest, this is all the Staedtler pigment pens for the gray and for the leaves. So again, you can see you can get a really pretty kind of look to those Staedtler pens just using a variety of different colors. And then again, soft pastels. So for the flames here, I just kind of wanted them to blur into the background. So I took out some of the lines using my, I think I used the Staedtler pens again to go over all of those lines. But yeah, and then just a gold gel pen for the stars. So yeah, so that is Enchanted Forest. Then I worked in Secret Garden. I only did one page so far in the new version of Secret Garden. But for that one, I did this double page spread. So this one, I wanted it to be kind of like a twilight scene, so kind of hazy. So I think that worked out. So I've got soft pastels for the background, and then this is all Staedtler pigment pens, so no pencil work, just using a variety of different shades and colors. And then again, the white flowers I always go over at the end with Posca to make those stand out. And then some Posca paints, Posca pens for the highlights on the grapes and on the berries and on the apples. And then this black again is that Molotow marker. Really like that. And that's it. But I thought this page turned out really pretty. I love the gradient. So when I did my soft pastels, I started with the yellow. So again, I use a cotton ball, and you can see it on that video, that color along if you're interested. But I use a cotton ball to make the yellow, and then I just work in circles with different colors of soft pastels, and then it kind of faded into this purple on the other side. So from blue to kind of a deeper purple on this side. So yeah, thought it was nice for fall with the pumpkins. So I was happy with that page. That's Secret Garden. And then I worked in Ivy and the Butterfly. So this was my kind of big project book for the month. And this is the color along is in Ivy and the Butterfly. So quite a few pages completed in this. So I started with my butterfly. So this is my inky butterfly that you're going to see. These color combinations I use throughout the book. This is done with metallic watercolors. So it's a kind of a fall palette. It's that pink, bronze, copper color. And then I outlined it all in that black Molotow marker. And then just a soft wash of soft pastels on the back, just to ground it just a little bit. That's my butterfly. And then I did this page. So this page is with a black matte background. Again, that's So Flat by Golden. That's the paint I always use. And this is a, let's see. Oh, this is a Luminance colored pencil background, the gradient. That's what that is. And then I use some Staedtler pigment pen for the elements, and some Posca pen for the white flowers and for the little dots, and some metallic pen, just a little bit. And then you can see I use that same metallic watercolor for my butterfly here. See that kind of up close. just a little bit. But I thought this page turned out really pretty, and I loved being able to use kind of all my stuff for this page. So I used my favorite black matte paint, my Luminance pencils, my Posca pens, my Staedtler pens. Yeah, so I thought that turned out pretty. Okay, this page, I put a piece of wax paper on this page just because it's got some, I didn't want the gel pen to rub off, but this is the garden page that she flies over on her bumblebee, I think, if that's right in the story. But this is a soft pastel gradient background, so it goes from green up into pink. You can see that. And then the scroll work is all with a gold. This is actually a gold watercolor. So this is that Finitec gold watercolor. It's, oh, I don't have it handy, but it's the, I think I've showed that before, but it's the Finitec gold. It's the Arabic gold watercolor. So I just take a really fine watercolor brush and the paint and draw it on. So I do always, when I do watercolor and color books, I then use a black fine liner and then I fine line around it so it looks a little bit more defined and not so messy, so you can see that fine liner around the gold. And then again, the same technique with some Posca pens to brighten things up with white flowers and white dots around those petals. Those pansies are actually with an acrylic marker. So I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of a texture. I tried to create a texture with those, but yeah, those are acrylic marker. And yeah, the rest are all Staedtler pigment pens. And then again, that's so flat for the background. That's that page. I really enjoyed working in this book this month. I thought this was so fun. I didn't really get into this book when it first came out, so I was excited to kind of discover it. This one has not been sprayed, so for some reason I forgot to spray this, so it does have wax paper in it. But this is the treehouse, and for this one we have Staedtler pigment pens, again, for the leaves, and these are aqua markers, the Faber-Castell aqua markers, soft pastels for the background. And these are all, this is my Luminance pencils over, and I use this technique in the color along that I posted. This is my Luminance pencils on top of my Museum Aquarelle pencils. Any watercolor pencil will work, but I do that as a base first, and then I put my Luminance over it, and it makes for a really rich color, especially for browns and big spaces like this tree. And I wanted the whole thing to look like it was part of the tree instead of doing this separately. The windows are all Inktense again to give that glow, which always turns out really pretty. And I've got my little Ivy in her boat over here. Again, Staedtler pens. My Ivy has like black brown hair and a red dress, so you'll see that throughout. Okay, so that's that page. And then this is the page we did together. So this is the page from the color along. So you maybe seen this if you watched that video. So this is how the final page turned out. This I just sprayed with a light, I think just a workable fixative so that the pastels stayed put. I'm gonna take a quick drink of coffee. Okay, so, and you see the watercolor, again, anytime the butterfly shows up, it's got that same watercolor look to it that I showed before. And I think that's it so far. Yeah, I'm working on a whip, so I'm working on this one. Always looks bad before it looks good. I know it's got a soft green pastel background and some Staedtler and Molotow black. This is the black, again, the marker, using that for some of the furniture. But this page will be fun. It's all going to be metallic gold pens, I think, or shades of gold and copper, because that's what all of these elements are. So I'll show that, if I'm able to complete it, I'll show that next month. But that's work in progress. Okay, So that was Inky and the Butterfly. Let's see what else. Magical Worlds. So Magical Worlds I decided I was only going to do with black backgrounds. So you're going to see a lot of black backgrounds in this page. Just move this stuff out of the way. So Magical Worlds, what did I work on? So I worked on this page. This was the first page that I did just the black background, and I thought, you know what, there's enough, and it kind of goes with this book, kind of the magical. So I decided I'm going to do all of the backgrounds, I think, in black for this book. I thought that would be cool. This one is just, I think it's acrylic. It's just acrylic marker. It's a navy blue acrylic marker in the background. And then some stickles for the feathers down here. And then, oh, this is, I haven't worked with these in so long. These are the Posca pencils, if you have these. The Posca, yeah, these are, I think 36 colors is the max of what they come in. These are beautiful. The price has dropped drastically on Amazon, which makes me scared that maybe they're going away. So I grabbed a couple of sets of these because I want to be able to travel with them. These are gorgeous pencils. So they're thicker, so they really have a nice feel. They're very smooth. They go beautifully with my Luminance. The color of them is gorgeous. These, of all my pencils, this is literally like coloring with paint. They're oil-based, and so the coloring you get, they're very unique. I don't know if you haven't used these yet, and the price has gone down so dramatically. If you haven't used these, now would be a time to try these out. But you can see, like, this flower, that's the Posca pencil, and I just think it looks like paint. Like, this is all Posca. The hummingbird is all those Poscas, and I just think they're so vibrant. Again, a beautiful complement to my Luminance, and very, very vibrant. They're just what you would think a Posca color pencil should be, because it's very similar to the colors of the markers. So really hope that they come out with other colors. But yeah, I haven't worked in those in a while, and so it was fun to bring those out. Okay, this did obviously Halloween season, October. So I did the pumpkin. I think maybe a lot of people probably did the pumpkin if they're working in this book. So this is Luminance pencils, all Luminance pencils for the pumpkin, and then all the leaves and everything are just my Staedtler markers. Some Posca white for the little flowers, some stickles just to give some shine over here on the black. This is watercolor, so this is, I'm going to talk about these a little bit because I started to really get into these. These are the Sennelier watercolors. These are beautiful watercolors. Obviously, they're Sennelier, but I think they're, the binder is honey in these. So for coloring, that makes it really nice because they're more opaque. So any type of M-Gram has, I think, honey binder as well. So those watercolors are really pretty for coloring books. They're just a little bit thicker, and I find them easier to spread and to use in color books because obviously the paper is not watercolor paper, so it can get a little tough. But these are, that honey binder is helpful in coloring books. So I have a few a few of these that I was able to get on sale from my local art store. So I use these. So the green, that's what this is. It's just a few colors of that. And because they're thick, they don't buckle the page or anything like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed working with these a lot. So I'm going to get a few more colors of these when these go on sale. So very beautiful. Yeah, that's my version of the pumpkin page. And then, of course, Inktense for all of the windows. So that's my pumpkin. Okay, and then the last page I did this month in this book was the dragon page. So again, the black background. Again, these are the Sennelier. I also have some blues in my little stash here that I just used a variety of blues for that. Sorry, I have them right here, the few colors that I have. the watercolors that I use all the time. So you can see that's kind of the look that you can get with those watercolors, very opaque. It's just a few swipes with the different colors. And then I did some dots in the white Posca. And then for the dragon, these are my Posca pencils again, just in the variety of colors. And then I dotted it with some stickles, some green stickles, so it gives it that shine on the dragon scales. And then the castle is Staedtler pigment pens with some ink tints for the windows. And then this background are my Jack Richardson pastels. So again, do the yellow just with a cotton ball, do the yellow, and then go around with, I think this was the red shade that just kind of created this soft orange for that background. And then I did that first, obviously, and then painted around the black to cover up some of the pastel. So yeah, this is a fun book. So Magical World. I had a couple other pages in my other copy, but this is a fresh copy. So wanted to start fresh. And then the last Johanna Basford that I worked in this month is my World of Flowers. And so just did 2 pages here. The first one I did was this one, was the lanterns. So this is Staedtler pens again. So you can tell, probably starting to tell the colors that I use all the time. I use the same green combination that I share in that color lung video. And then, yeah, these are all Staedtler pens. Even for the lamps, those are Staedtlers versus my ink tints. And Jack Richardson pastels. So just a wash of the blue going down into the green. But because each one of these are lanterns, I started with a little bit of yellow that I scraped off into those areas with the soft pastel. Again, used a little cotton ball to make that, and then went around with the darker color. There's a few little shine, like stickles for the butterfly. You can get that glitter effect. And then some stickles down in the green. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. And then I sprayed it to lock down all of the pastels. Yeah, so that's my lantern page for this book. And then this one I just did recently, so it's still flattening out. So it's kind of curling up on the edges. But this is this wallpaper page. So this was really fun. This is all Staedtler pigment pens. So sorry. This will, if you spray your pages, they might curl up on the edges. It's totally fine. They will flatten out. I literally just finished this like yesterday. So that's why they're curling up on the edges. It just has to sit closed for a while and they'll flatten out. But this is my wallpaper page. So all Staedtler pigment pens, again, Jack Richardson soft pastels for the background. This one is just a light wash of a light green color. And then some Posca, if you can see, for dot effects. And then a lot of elements are outlined with a gold metallic pen. So if you can see that shine. And then, of course, the butterfly, a little bit of stickles on there to give it some glitter effect. You can see kind of that white Posca pen and the gold. I thought this turned out really pretty though. Yeah, that's that one. And then that is it for World of Flowers. So for my new copy. So just those 2 pages. Okay, so that's Johanna Basford. A few other things. So I did get this. This is new to me. This is not a new book, but it's new to me. This is Myth World, Pentesco Beads to Color and Explore. And I think this is by Good Wives and Warriors. So the same people who do like the Return to Oz and the Alice in Wonderland and the Shakespeare, all of those smaller books. This is by those same artists. So I love this book. This is a really fun book. So it opens like this, and it has these beautiful illustrations and a little description on the other page, but which makes them kind of single-sided. So if you wanted to use alcohol markers, you could. But I just did one book. I did the Cerberus, Cerberus, the three-headed dog. So a beast from the Greek myths. He has 3 ferocious hound heads, a tail made from snakes, and a terrifying temper. He protects the gates of the underworld and can be pacified with honey cake. So this is my version of that. I just went all in with the colors. So the dogs, this is the Posca pen. So you can see they're so vibrant. They literally look like paint. So Posca pencils, excuse me. These are the Posca pencils for the dog. I did do some acrylic paint pens for the tail, and the clouds are paint pens, and as well as the rocks down here. I want it to look kind of like lava down here. And then the bees, I've got a little bit of glitter, a little bit just to give them some shine on their wings. And then I sprayed it down just to hold everything in place. But yeah, that's my Cerberus. And the inspiration from this is actually in their book. So this is the companion to this, the Mythopedia, Mythical Beasts. This is not new, so you may already know this and have seen this. But this, if you love, I love art books. I love when illustrators that we color in have art books. I just think it's wonderful inspiration. This is such a gorgeous book. What a wonderful gift this would be. But I think the stories are fantastic, but the illustrations are just, if you like vibrant, look at that, vibrant illustrations, I think this is wonderful. So look at that. This would be neat to use as inspiration for the Kirby Anubis. But yeah, so some of them, like this is definitely in the color book, so you could use this as inspiration. But somewhere in here, and I didn't mark the page, and I won't, oh, here it is. This is the Cerberus. Sorry, I can't speak today, but this is the book version of that page. And then again, it's just inspired by, it's not exact, but the same kind of like tones. I liked the tones of their page, the oranges and blacks and grays. And also the very blocky colors with the different elements. I don't know, I assume this is done probably originally in acrylic or something like that, but so that's where I got kind of the look and feel for my page from that. So again, anytime a beloved artist has an art book, I snatch that right up so that I can get inspiration. And again, for color palettes, I'm going to use this. If you like really bright, vibrant color books, color palettes, this is a beautiful book. So yeah. So that was really fun. So I'm excited to do more in that book. So I did tell you last month I was going to take a break from Hannah Carlson. I did somewhat, but of course I did. I will always color in my Hannah books every month. So Jewelry Box came back out, I think just for one page. Oh, this page I was playing. This is with a watercolor background. This is with Daniel Smith's Moonglow watercolor background. This is a granulated watercolor. So all this is one watercolor. So no distress ink on the sides, nothing like that. It's literally just one watercolor in different with different levels of water to make this kind of gray smoky background. It actually has some blue to it and some magenta, and it's a very, if you're not familiar with that watercolor, it's kind of a famous watercolor, but if you're not familiar with that, that's what the look of that is. And then I just sprinkled some black because it was October and kind of Halloween-y. I just did a black splash of paint on the background as well. These are all Luminance color pencils, so you can see how bright those can get. I love the reds of the Luminance. Yeah, and then just some acrylic accents. The black is the semi-gloss, again, Malitou marker instead of the Posca, just to give it some a little bit of shine to the page. But this was a fun experiment in Jewelry Box. So I like doing that watercolor wash for the background. That was fun. Magical Dawn. I think in this one, oh, I just finished a whip. I had already showed you kind of the work in progress of this, I think last month, but this is the completed page. So this is a lot of, this is all basically soft pastels and some luminance pencils. So all soft pastels, the Jack Richardson soft pastels, I think. These might be my Sennelier soft pastels. I think, I can't remember, but it doesn't matter. So soft pastels, and then these are the luminance pencils. And then I always use pan pastels for my portraits. So, and the hands are pan pastels. And then a ton of stickles and raised pearl drops and metallic pen for the stars and glossy accents on her eyes. But yeah, just kind of all, lots of stickles and shine down there along the, around the crystal ball. Yeah, it's my kind of gypsy, purple gypsy lady. So finished her up. Okay, so that is Magical Dawn. And then in the Dutch version of my Seasons, again, this was my newer copy of this that I'm now working through. Oh, I did one page just for Halloween. This is my second time doing this page. And so for this one, I just did, these are gelatos. So this is a combination of a variety of blue gelatos and some distress ink to darken up the corners here. And then that cloud technique that I've used, that I showed you on one of my color alongs. And yeah, the rest is all luminance pencils. So you can see the luminance pencils and white Posca kind of outlining some things. And a black cat. I thought she turned out pretty. The gelatos, this is just kind of a natural outcome, the lighter gelato around her. And I think that effect was, I didn't really mean to do that, but that is just what happens because I was kind of working around these elements. So I was going softly around those and it just made for a lighter wash of the gelatos. And I think that really looks kind of cool. It kind of highlights her a little bit. But yeah. I like this version. The other version of this page that I've done in the Witch's Cottage, which I didn't bring out this Halloween season. I didn't do too many Halloween pages, actually, after all. I thought I was going to do a lot in October, and I didn't really do too many. I did mostly, if I did any kind of seasonal, it was fall versus Halloween. So I did a couple here and there. But Daydreams, I don't think I've shown any Daydreams because I haven't worked in this book in forever. So like a year, I think, have I worked in Daydreams. So I thought I'd share. I did 3 pages in Daydreams. So this was the first page that I did. So this is a night scene. This is all gelatos in the back. So just a variety. It's blue and purple gelatos and some ink splatters and silver splatters. And then these are done with Coloursoft. So these are Derwent Coloursoft pencils that I used for the houses that I haven't used those in a long time. Actually, the whole thing is Derwent Coloursoft. So I use that for all the leaves and the flowers. I don't use my Colorsofts very much anymore because they break so easily. I find it a little bit annoying, but I do like them a lot and I will use them. My preference will always be my Luminance over my Coloursoft, but they make a very pretty effect. And then I just outlined some of the gray with black Molotow, again, that black semi-gloss, just to give the leaves a little bit of definition. And the bird is the Coloursoft again, just with some outlining. I really like the flowers on this page. I thought those came out really nice. And then again, the windows always with the ink tints, just to give it a glow. Oh, and a nighttime scene for that. This one ended up being, I didn't start out like this. It ended up being kind of a Valentine's page. So if you're looking for a Valentine's idea, this turned out really fun. I was gonna do more of a spooky page, so this was going to be kind of black ravens or crows and kind of a spooky background. And I started using my red luminance pencils, which are so beautiful, and I just didn't want to stop. So I just kept, I made them all just red kind of cardinal birds, and then added some stickles for shine. So you can see those. Hopefully they have some sparkle to them. And then just used a stencil background with some red ink, archival ink for the background, little hearts, and then did a gold key. So that's a gold metallic key. So very Valentine's Day. I don't know, random. It just, that's what ended up happening. So, but I like them. I think they're cute. That was more of a kind of a palette cleanser page. This is my big page for the month in Daydream. So this is kind of, to me, it looks a bit like a cornucopia. So this is all fall colors. These are gelatos in the background, just variety of gelatos. Just the kind of the palette is purple, orange, yellow, and a peach color. And then this is all luminance pencils, and I think I actually used a little bit of Staedtler pens as well, kind of mixed throughout. And then some of the things are outlined with Posca and stickles and some shine. The pink watercolor, can you see the butterflies are all pink metallic watercolor. So, and as are the gems. So hopefully you can see the shine of those. Her skin, everything, again, is pan pastels as per usual. But yeah, nice pretty fall page. So that's Daydreams. Okay, so that's it for Hannah. Let me take a quick drink of coffee. We're almost a little over halfway done. I colored a lot in October. Okay, Millie Murata. So I did a few pages in Millie. So the first one that we did was the owl. So I did this owl. This is gelato background. So it's just a gradient from the red up until the orange. And then this is all with luminance pencils. I did use some Posca here for the little beard, the white beard here, but the rest is all just pencil work. Just different gradients. You can see how those luminance pencils, they blend so beautifully. And this is with such little work. Like it's 2 layers, and they just blend themselves. So I know they're expensive, but even if you just get the starter kit, the 12, I think it would be worth it. Like I highly recommend those pencils just because they're so easy to work with. And if you're struggling with colored pencils and maybe can't make them work for you, sometimes it's nice to save and just get the nice pencils of just a fewer colors. Even like that Posca set that I was talking about, it's only 36 colors. That's plenty. Like I can do all my pages with those colors. It's fine. I wish they had more colors just because I love colors, but you could do beautiful pages with just 36 colors. So that is my owl in Beautiful Birds. And then Woodland Wild, this is the page that I did a color along with. So we did this page together. So these are, I'm forgetting what these are. This is the Saucer Magnolia and the Long-Tailed Tits. That's what these birds are. So these were actually done with a mix of polychromos and luminance. So that's what this combination is. Because really, the thing with luminance, I've mentioned this before, and you've probably experienced this as well, but the pinks in the luminance are not that great, honestly. Polychromos beat luminance by a mile for the pinks. So, And I knew I wanted pinks for this, so I needed to bring up polychromos. I think I could have probably done it with my Poscas. In hindsight, I should have tried that. But anyways, I think this turned out pretty. This is gelato for the background, and then just that cloud technique with ink for that. But again, that's a color along that's on the channel. Speed color along. Nature Odyssey, Chris Garver. I haven't done too many pages in this book or illustrations by Chris Garver. Very similar to Millie Murata in a lot of ways, but illustrations are fun. This was just more of an experiment page. So this is using Schmincke like granulated watercolor. It's the Tundra watercolors, and so these I should not have outlined these with white. So in hindsight, I wouldn't have done that. I would have outlined it with a different color. But if you can see the actual watercolor in there, that's one watercolor and it's granulated. And it just, if you just do using the, paint with the one watercolor, you can get all those different gradients. So that's what I did. Just use the Tundra set for the leaves as well. There's a beautiful green in that set. So that's what is colored in this page. And then this is just a So Flat violet background for that. But yeah, this was just an experiment page with those watercolors. But this is a really pretty book. I like, I love coloring parrots. So if you haven't colored in Chris Garver, I think he's a tattoo artist, if I remember right, but those are so neat. Bugs. That's pretty too. Water lilies. You could do a really pretty watercolor for the water here. Maybe I'll work on that page. Yeah, but Chris Garver, Nature Odyssey. He has a couple books that are available on Amazon. Floribunda Year. So I have been wanting to get into this book and I have not. And so October I got into it. I did the first October page. So I did these 2 pages with my luminance pencils. So it's just pencil work. I didn't do any type of background. So just pencils. So the apples were, or these are crab apples, I think. Crab apples, again, this is another book that she tells you in the back exactly what is, what the page is. So you can look and see these. This left is garden rose and the right is crabapple and sloe berries. So I had to look up what a sloe berry, if that's how you say that, a sloe berry is. So they're kind of they're a dusty blue, kind of matte blue. So I tried my best to match that and then did my crab apples in the red. And then my garden rose, yellow rose. So that's Floribunda Year, so I'm excited to keep coloring in that. And then the last page I'll share with you today for October, this is Green Ivy. I think this is the Four Seasons book. Did one page in this. I did this adorable page. So this page is beautiful. Again, if you don't have this book, I have a whip in here. She does the watercolor. I think it's a she. I shouldn't say that. They do. I'm not sure. They do a watercolor on this page on the left, and then you have your drawing that you can do on this page. The paper is fantastic, and you can do watercolor. I did this one with pencils, so I did this with my luminance. And I literally just copied exactly kind of how they did their picture on this side. So again, luminance, just did a little bit of shading for the bunnies. My dress is a little different, but yeah, that's my version of this page. But I thought that would be a good way to end by October coloring pages. So that is it. Those are my completed pages for the month. I hope you all had a wonderful October and a wonderful spooky season. We are headed into November, so very much into fall. I'm going to be doing a little bit of Christmas coloring, I think. Again, the new Johanna Basford book that's coming soon. I'm so excited for. I'm going to jump right into that. I'm going to continue my Johanna Basford coloring, and I would love to know if there's anything that you would like to see me demo that maybe I talked about in my completed pages. I'd love to do that on some color alongs. But thank you again for all of those of you who subscribed. I'm so glad to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope you like this video, and we'll talk again very soon. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.